hot and techie Brezza, the Citybird SUV.
162 for 8 is where Sunrisers Hyderabad finish against Gujarat Titans. A peculiar innings where everyone in the top 7 crossed 15 and yet no one touched 30. What do we think of that score? On Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. It's time to get the thoughts of Tom Moody, Mitch McClenaghan and Varun Aaron in. But before the serious business, we need to rebrand Varun as some sort of an oracle, called Noor Ahmed playing this game and called to our surprise when he predicted that Washington Sundar will be impacted in, and that's already happened. Well done.
I think he needs to get your phone out, because I'm sure he's played with both of them, and I'm sure he probably got a heads up that they were both playing.
If anybody had to get a heads up from the Hyderabad camp, that would be Tom, not me. Just
Give him a reply,
just to prove a point, that I didn't make a call to Gujarat. I also did an out of the box guess for Sunrisers. So just blame it on my instinct. Please.
Unfortunately for you.
I'm respecting your insight.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank
well
you.
done. I think it's a great
Glass
achievement.
half full, glass half empty.
Unfortunately for you, none of those go to the leaderboard because that was not your outrageous pick. But Washington Sundar could yet get you points since you picked him in the impact zone.
Yeah.
But now to the real insight. Tom, 162, what do you make of that total from Hyderabad?
I think it's around about par score on that surface. We saw as soon as the new ball phase, batting became harder and harder. The ball kept a little bit low, it's a little bit slow. We saw Saha take a few behind the stumps against the spin that were, lower than you would expect. And when the bowlers took pace off ball on the right length, it was very difficult to find the boundary. So I think, we've got a game on here. I think it's 50-50. It's a par score, so it's again an example of how much has the Sunrisers bowling unit learnt from that first 20 overs, and can they transfer that into their bowling performance?
I think it's probably, you're right, it's probably about par. I think Sunrisers will be disappointed with the way Travis Head got off to that start. Looks like he was going to carry on from the other nights, and Mayank Agarwal really put some pressure on Travis Head. He got 17 off 16 balls, really soaked up a lot of the strike on a wicket that looks like it's going to be easy to score in the power play, and it kind of disrupted Travis Head's flow, and that's probably why I think if Travis Head got more strike, they could have been looking at 170, 180, which would have been a great score on that wicket.
Yeah, Head was off to a flyer, 10 of his first 3 balls, but got very little strike through the rest of the power play, which finished with Hyderabad on 56 for 1, thanks to Abhishek Sharma taking down Rashid Khan in the 6th over. But immediately after that came the introduction of Noor Ahmed, and instantly Travis Head, perhaps feeling the pressure of not having had the strike as much, lost his wicket. That was a big moment there for Gujarat.
Absolutely, very big moment because Noor Ahmed is one of those guys who bowls really, really good googly, really fast out of the hand. As a batsman, you don't get a really good read of it unless you've played him before. And also I think Gujarat's done a really smart thing by playing on this wicket, because the wicket doesn't offer any one pace hitter like much to work with. So they've got it right. They would have loved to win the toss and bat first, but like Tom said, this is pretty much a on par, maybe 5-6 runs lesser than they would have liked, because of that phase where Mayank put a bit of pressure on Head, where I think the best time to bat here is with the new ball, and they should have got more runs with the new ball.
Do you think they've done that on purpose with how Hyderabad played the other night, in terms of the wicket?
100%, because they know that Klaasen wants space on it. They know that Abhishek Sharma likes space on it. They know that Head likes space on it. So all their main batsmen who've done well like pace on it, and their advantage is that they don't have anybody really express. So that's why they played they played Nalkhande today, because Nalkhande is one of those typical bowlers, not too tall, bowls a lot of cutters into the wicket, and that was his role. So, like we can see, they're really employing horses for courses, which is how any good team goes about the IPL.
Yeah, Nalkhande is an interesting one, which we'll come to in a bit. He was only used for the first time in the 16th over. But before that, just wrapping up Noor, Tom, it only took some tap from Klaasen in the last over for those figures. It's still 1 for 32, which reads well, but those first 3 overs of his, going for only 18, getting the wicket of Head, very essential to changing the course of how Hyderabad were going.
Very much so. I thought it was a good strategic move to bring him into the side, given the conditions. You know, Spencer Johnson made way for him, but that surface there is not a Spencer Johnson surface. Not to say he wouldn't have bowled well, because he, you know, I'm sure he would have adapted. But given they've got the flexibility to have the mystery of the left arm spinner, wrist spinner in Noor, yeah, I thought he bowled really well, and he sort of shifted the momentum where the Sunrisers out of power play were controlling and looking at 180. We heard an interview in the dugout with James Franklin, and he sort of forecast 180 as a par score. They fell short of that, but he also, to be fair to him, he wasn't going to see how the surface was going to slow down and behave in that second half. But yeah, no, that you know, it's a great combination, that Rashid Khan and Noor Ahmed. You know, it's a pretty hard stranglehold in the middle overs for any side to deal with.
And Mohit Sharma as well, because Mohit Sharma is the perfect bowler for these kind of wickets. A lot of slow balls. He has 2 slow balls. He bowls the back of the hand when he bowls full. He bowls the off cutter when he bowls short. Really good Yorker. Even he's one of those skiddy customers. Even his back of length ball doesn't really rise. It's always like somewhere here, so the batsman can't get under it. So, I mean, they're just getting it really well together, their bowling unit.
The Sunrisers bowling attack after seeing our Mohit bowled and Nalkunde bowled would be pretty positive. They're set up to bowl slow balls at the end, slow ball bounces, Pat Cummins, Undercat, Boovie can do that as well. So they'll be actually looking at 162 and thinking, you know what, it's actually game on with the skills that we've got available to us.
That one big moment in the innings came when Heinrich Klaasen, who got off the way he gets off on most days these days, Rashid Khan, who was attacked by Abhishek Sharma. We spoke of those two matchups in the build-up, that Abhishek and Klaasen liked facing him. Abhishek did get into him in the 6th, but Rashid comes back. That wicket of Klaasen bats another 4-5 overs. We're potentially looking well past 180 here.
Yeah, look, it's a big wicket. We know Klaasen's one of the form players in world cricket in this format of the game. But Rashid Khan, certainly no mug either. He's world class in his own right. And that particular delivery, it's interesting because Rashid Khan's greatest strength is not so much turn, it's his speed that he gets off the surface and at times bounce. And that delivery that took the wicket, it just gathered pace off the wicket and got through the attack, attacking Klaasen. So massive moment in the game because, slow wicket or not, Klaasen's got that sort of brute strength and hitting ability to be able to muscle the ball over the boundary. Unlike the previous game in Hyderabad where you don't have to muscle it because the ball's coming onto your bat, so you can play proper cricketing strokes. But on a slower surface, it's very hard to get that timing. So you have to actually muscle the ball over the fence, and you're not always going to middle it. You're just relying on brute strength.
And you saw how happy Rashid Khan was as well, because that's the first time he's got him out in T20 cricket. Heinrich Klaasen's had his number for some time, striking over 200. So that was a big moment in the match. And like Tom said, you spent a lot of time with him. And anyone out there as a leg spinner, growing up, it's about that fizz on the ball, isn't it? And you say it just picks up, that spin just picks up pace off the wicket, and that's one of his biggest attributes.
Klaasen's wicket was immediately followed by that of Aiden Markram in the next over, and that meant Hyderabad were 114 for 5 in the 15th. They've added 48 in those last 32 balls, and almost the bulk of the scoring comes from Abdul Samad, 29 of 14. That could be a vital cameo in the context of this game.
Yeah, it was quality hitting, wasn't it? On a wicket that was difficult to get your timing. When he got a missed Yorker or a bad ball, he put it away, and in those conditions, you've got to take advantage of a tactical error from the bowler. And, geez, he made it look easy. We were sitting there going, well, these conditions are going to be difficult to clear the boundary and get a strike rate. But 29 off 14 balls, that's up there with as impactful innings as you'll see in this match all day.
And I feel there was a little lack of application towards the end from the Sunrisers batsmen. They could have easily put him on strike last over, let him do the bulk of the work because he was already set. Washington Sundar came in, played a shot, got out. The guy before him got out. So Abdul Samad at the right time did get enough strike, which could have been which could be the difference at the end of the match. Maybe that 8-10 runs which can swing the match to their favour.
Thoughts on Samad, Tom, a batter you've seen closely?
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Abdul Samad. He reminds me very much of Yusuf Pathan, a real power hitter. And I talked about muscling the ball, and he has the ability to muscle the ball over the fence because he's a strong lad. Yes, he can time it as well, but he's also got that power to be able to swing through on a slow surface, particularly when bowlers are taking pace off. So thrilled to see he's getting an opportunity, and that was a very, very good innings in the circumstances because he was facing an informed Mohit Sharma who's got a lot of experience bowling on slowish wickets and at the back end of the innings.
Right. So thanks to Samad's cameo there, Sunrisers finished with 162, 163 the target for Gujarat Titans, and they will hope for their captain to just find his groove, which he tends to more often than not in Ahmedabad. A stellar record batting at this venue, and in fact it goes beyond the league. He's played one T20 international here where he hit 100. He's played a test match where he's hit 100 against Australia. Leave out that World Cup final and Gill almost always delivers in Ahmedabad. How do you see him approach this with the target?
You can't leave it out that World Cup final, mate. You've got Pat Cummins on the field. He's going to be up against them again.
We gave the Australians their due in our build-up with Head and Cummins.
Okay.
Now for Gill.
You're right. Look, I mean, Shubman Gill, since Gujarat's been in the league, he's been astonishing. He really has. And what you want from your top order batsman is to make your home ground their home ground. And every time a team comes to your home ground, they're worried about how Shubman Gill's going to go and how do you get him out. And he's built that aura around him in the IPL, particularly when they play at home. So for Gujarat Titans, they'll be hoping that he gets off to a good start because he's a key batsman for their lineup.
He'll do well to maintain that strike rate and that average on that surface. Because I think it does look tough, and they are very good numbers, but I don't think they reflect the surface that he has been batting on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's batting in the best time in a surface like this. If they have to get off to a flyer, that would be really good because the new ball is not going to stop as much. So it's a good matchup. And Bhuvi, he's a great bowler. I would love to see what the matchup of Bhuvi and Gill have in store for us.
Yeah, Gill does have some previous against Bhuvi. Also seems like the kind of target where a quick, typical Saha cameo could set Gujarat on their way.
100%, like especially in these kind of targets, which are like in the middle, they're kind of tricky. You want your opening pair to go off to a flyer that just then sets the middle order can really set the pace, and they're not playing catch up. So this is going to be key. The early wickets for Sunrisers and a great start for Gujarat is going to be key.
Okay, just as we are set for ball number one, let's get a quick round of predictions. Tom, how do you see this one finish?
I think Gujarat are going to get over the line, and I think that Shahbaz Ahmed's going to bowl the second over.
All right.
Ooh,
there you go.
okay.
I'll just sort of throw that in, just for
I like
a
that.
little bit of extra for you.
Yeah, I like that. That's
0.5 will be added if it's true.
No, I don't need freebies.
Okay. Now, look, I think it's going to be tight, but all my impact players are on the Sunrisers side, so I better go with Sunrisers. I think they'll win on the last ball. This is going to be our first genuine thriller this tournament.
I'm going to go with Gujarat, and I think Gill is going to get a 50-plus score today.
All right. So the panel leans 2-1 towards Gujarat, who are chasing down 163. Let's see how those predictions come out. We'll pick up the conversation at the end of this game, where we'll also start building up to Delhi Capitals against Chennai Super Kings. Rishabh Pant versus MS Dhoni, which is the second game. Be sure to catch us then on Maruti Suzuki Arena, presents ESPN Cricket Info Timeout. Do download the ESPN Cricket Info mobile app if you haven't already. It will have you covered with everything you need to know from this game and the build-up to Delhi versus Chennai. That's it then from us. See you soon.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the City